Hi everyone, you're listening to Heart and Soul on INCmedia.org. Now, do you have questions on love or relationships? Listen up, you might just find your answer here. This segment of hashtag Ask Heart and Soul was recorded during our episode on courting, keeping it simple. Joining us today, we have some special guests.
Absolutely, from around the world.
Yeah, all the way from the United Kingdom, from London. We have Cheyenne Kunanan. Hi, Cheyenne.
Hello.
So Cheyenne is a successful law student and law professional in London. She has been born and raised in London, and she's not only successful in her career, but she's been able to do that and upkeep her duties. I believe you're also in the choir. You do everything. How do you do this, Cheyenne?
Yeah, I must say it's not particularly easy to find that balance. But you know, the way that I am able to do it is, of course, you know, through the help of God. But you know, it's to do with prioritization.
Sounds pretty sound advice. Okay, let's wrap up. Thank you so much for listening. But we actually have another guest today. It's Mac Balacano, who's originally from my hometown in the Greater Toronto area, but he now lives all the way in Winnipeg.
Central Canada, correct?
Central Canada, that's correct. A very brand new district this year. He's very successful working in the telecom industry, I believe in the environmental department. Mac, am I correct?
Yep, that's correct.
And he just recently moved into his own home. So just like
Successful
Cheyenne, you know,
already.
young, successful, single, not like we're trying to play matchmaker here. You know, but Mac, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting me to join today.
Okay, so real quick, people who are listening right now are anxious to hear. They've sent in a lot of questions and tips from around the world. We have a question now from Lucy from Toronto, and here's her question.
How do you know if a relationship is taking a turn to end up into the friend zone?
Ooh,
All right, who wants to take that one?
I think Mac does.
Mac, go.
You know, we can talk a long time about different signs, but I honestly just think, you know, my personal preference would be to just cut through all of that and to just have an open and honest conversation with the other person.
You. Mac, we agree.
Yay!
I think, but you know, I mean, the little
here's the but.
The little asterisk beside that is, I think that also, you know, obviously depends on the level of maturity of the other individual, and recognizing that for some people that might be the first instance that they've come across that situation, right? Or
Absolutely.
it's a very different situation for them, and I guess
Right.
kind of bring in that level of understanding. So it's, you know, I do think that, you know, having that conversation is the best, and I think that is the, in my opinion, the right and proper thing to do. But you know, certainly, I think there's you can talk about some very obvious things like, hey, they suddenly don't respond to my messages or talk to me as often, or you know, those types of things. Or you know, if you try to do something very, I don't know, maybe like bringing flowers for a guy, for example. And she is just totally like not okay with that. You know, there's some very obvious.
Bring this? Yeah, she's like, I work at a flower shop.
Yeah, or like, let me give. Oh, you brought these for my mom. That's so nice of you.
Right. You know what's super easy though? Like super easy. Like cut through the awkwardness. Like if you're talking to somebody, like say, okay, Mac, you're talking to a girl, and you're not really feeling it, and she keeps talking to you, and you start talking about a different girl. Boom. And there you go. Switch it up. Like the girl's talking to a guy, and the guy's, you know, and she starts talking about another guy.
That's Marvin's Martin's key move there.
Because it's not
I guess you
rude,
can,
but it's
I guess
also
that's
like
when you can see though. That's when you can. I mean, the question was how
Gauge
can
her
you
level
tell? Just
Yeah,
drop
it's
another
like-
girl's name, and you'll be able to see what direction it goes in.
yeah, and she's like freaking out, like, but I thought we were exclusive, and you're like, I met you 2 hours ago. You know? Okay, moving on. We have Raj from Bakersfield asking this question.
Is it okay to date your best friend?
Ooh,
So you're in a really good platonic relationship, but you start feeling like maybe this could be something. Do you risk it?
My heart.
I think,
I don't even have a joke ready. I'm just like,
but just like you guys have said, if you're mature at the end of it, you'll be mature at the end of it, and you'll still love each other no matter what.
Yeah, I was.
And it'll hurt, and it'll hurt forever. But
Have you actually been in that situation though?
anybody?
Anybody? Because I think it's easier said than done. I don't know.
I think it depends on person to person, doesn't it? And it really depends on, your relationship as best friends. If you truly are best friends, that you wouldn't, if you do take that chance and you do go there and start seeing each other differently and dating and whatnot. I guess it's the way that if it doesn't work out, how you deal with it as best friends. Yes, I know there's going to be that fear of, oh my gosh, it's going to ruin it's going to ruin how we are as best friends. But then again, like Max said, it's to do with the maturity levels.
Right.
Like if you're going to let it ruin a friendship that you once had that was really, your best friends, then clearly
it wasn't strong enough to begin with.
Exactly. It wasn't.
Okay, let's do a quick lightning round. Yes or no? Mac, would you do it?
Date your best friend.
Speaking from experience, no.
Okay. Cheyenne?
I don't actually have a guy best friend, but I do. There are friends that the guy friends that I've grown close with, and yeah, I mean, again, like I said earlier on in the show, if it happens organically, and you do, you see signs that he's treating me differently than he would normally, then yeah,
Right.
definitely.
So yes. Nice. Okay, LP?
I would 100% take the chance.
Look at that. So Max said no.
And Martin, you say?
It's a
Don't
guy
leave
girl.
me hanging, Martin.
You know what, I'm gonna say no.
Oh.
Because
So you're praying for the one to be in your life. You're praying to God to show you the one and to give you the one. And he has this great blessing in your life
right.
that you're just going to turn away.
But if I'm blessed with a best friend, then I'm gonna appreciate her as that blessing.
But she's your best friend because you've put her in that category.
As a friend, for sure. As the best friend.
What's to say that she can't be more if you've never...
For sure. Well, technically, the girl, Erica, who I'm dating right now, is my best friend, as in she's my closest friend. But I didn't start off like, man, we should be really good best friends at the beginning and then see if this is going to go somewhere. Like, there was an initial attraction. We started, dating. I courted her, became my, boyfriend, girlfriend. And I'm like, you know what? Now that we're in this relationship and we're so close, you're my best friend. But not like, does that make sense?
Can I, my analogy on this is, sorry if it's a bad analogy, but it's kind of like roommates. Like when I was in university, it's like you're like really good friends with someone and then you live with them, and I'm like, dude, I thought you were like really cool, but now you're just totally on my nerves.
You're talking about a guy, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
as a roommate.
We want
as a
this show to
roommate.
air.
Yeah,
Okay.
as a roommate, right? You were
Right.
like really good friends, and then
Yeah,
it
I
like
hear you.
changes. All that I'm getting at is it changes the dynamic.
sure.
Like you
If you have
had,
a working dynamic, then why mess with it?
yeah. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Hey, I'm Jonasel from Sunderland, United Kingdom, and I wanted to ask, at the end of the day, who should pay? Or should they split the bill?
Ooh.
With that one, unless of course Brother Mac wants to jump in on that.
Mac will always pay. Mac will pay for everybody.
I think, okay, so for me, I know that the sort of traditional old school way would be for the guy to pay. However, girls do like that they're allowed to show that they are also independent and also able to do it. Sometimes give us a chance to, I know that you're trying to be a gentleman and all, but sometimes we'd like to, because thank you for taking us on this date kind of thing. You know, it's a way that you want to express that. Or again, if you want to do it easy, then split the bill.
Brother Richie, is there a biblical answer, or is it just like, are you a man, you gonna pay for this or not, or how does it work?
You know, it really goes back to, okay, there's a lot of, I guess, etiquette rules that the one that invites is the one that pays. But, you know, you're really trying to show that. That's why I said, if you get so caught up in certain rules created, just think, okay, what's my intention here? You know, if I want to show I'm a provider, if I want to, now I understand maybe you're not at that point yet. Maybe the girl's saying, hey, don't worry, you know, I'm not expecting you to provide for me. Then you should be able to feel that out, that you're not yet at that point. You know, so if she insists, no one wants to offend anyone, then you can split the bill if you like. But then if you're trying to show, you know, you're trying to, that's the word, you're trying to court, then, you know, that's part of it. You want to show that you're ready for this. You are established. That's why if you're not able to do that, well, then you just wait until you're established.
Thank you for listening to this segment of #Ask Heart and Soul. So join the conversation by sending us your questions by tweeting at INC Media News or comment on Instagram under one of our posts using #AskHeartAndSoul. You just might hear it answered in our future episodes. I'm LP, and remember, we're just people talking love and relationships on INC Heart and Soul.